I'm not after a man. I'm after a contract. I'm raising 2 boys.
That's Sudie Cruisenberry from the documentary Harlan County, U.S.A., who is a true American hero and one of the most inspiring people I've ever seen. I've been trying to post a bunch of videos of this movie on my channel, and they keep getting marked as ineligible for the For You feed. I'm not sure why, but it might have something to do with how cool this lady is, Lois Scott, from a direct fighting standpoint.
Tell them I started out with a switch on that picket line, but I'm ended up now carrying a gun. It's got safety. And if it did, it wouldn't shoot nothing. Yeah, I might do that one anyway. As long as I got enough. I want you to meet.
So in this one, I want to highlight Sudie Cruisenberry specifically, who gives one of the most heart-wrenching speeches ever about why she's fighting for a union for the workers. It's because her husband is disabled from coal mining work and she's got 2 kids. And her dad died from coal mining work and she never got to see him or have a relationship with him because he was working punishing hours. And then she had to walk to school in just overalls through the hills of Kentucky because there was no buses and no money for clothes. And she only got to go to 6th grade because she had to drop out to pick through slate and find coal to sell. And so Lois, one of the other main organizers, is arguing with another woman whose attendance on the picket line has been waning. And the other woman comes back at Lois, saying that she's heard that Lois is trying to steal people's husbands. And so Sudie gets up and gives one of the most inspiring speeches ever.
I don't care who takes whose man, who lives with whose man, or what they do. If they can take mine and take him on, they can have him. I'll shed no tears. I'm not after a man. I'm after a contract. I'm raising 2 boys. Can't let our brother down. We got to stand on solid ground, and then we're going to go through. I don't count myself nothing big in the club. I don't count myself no bigger than nobody else. The rest of them has more to do with it than I do because my husband is mashed up in the mines. On the east over, just pushed us off. Was pushed off before the rent was up and all of that. It is mashed up there. Daddy's down with coal dust from that mines. I went to school, the age of school. I got part of the 6th grade because Daddy got $8 and something a shift. Nothing to go to school on. Have to go in overalls and pile out slate for a living after I growed up, coal out of it and sell it, and walk off of that mountain mines to school. And they're all barned up there, not even a light in it. I've got Mom's skull oil lamps. I've got her stove irons sitting there for them to look at. And walk it to school and back.
And how cool is this? She gets elected president of the Women's Club to support the strike.
Now, we've got a new president, Sudie Cruisenberry, as our new president, so let's give her a hand.
Who are as big a reason as anybody in eventually winning a contract, as they face gunfire, they get bats and clubs, and literally lay their bodies on the line to block the road to the mine so that the scabs can't enter. I honestly think this movie should be mandatory viewing for everybody in America, but I'm so mad in particular that I didn't know about it as an East Tennessean until my 30s, because it's so crazy to see people who look and sound like everyone I grew up with and went to school with talking about organizing and unions and labor activism. So yeah, highly recommend. It's full of inspiring moments like this.
And we have to fight for our rights. You're going to have to fight for that. If you have more safety in the mines, if you get your portal-to-portal pay, if you have your doctor card so you can be doctored. Because if you get disabled and you don't have any backing, then some home will get you or your family will fall. For you see, I know what it means. And this club means a lot to pull us all together. Everybody stand together in it, and everybody goes together. Everybody go out on the picket line, and we'll win their contract if they'll all stand up.
That's good, Sudie.
Organizing and constantly fighting for workers' rights, you lose the gains that were made. That's why we need unions. Capitalism in the 1% relies on permanent growth in profits. So by nature of the way the system is set up, there's always going to be pressure from the owners in society to take what little the workers have. If you pay the workers less, you increase profits in the short term, and that's all they care about. And so if there's a constant pressure from the top to take away workers' rights, money, and benefits, then we need a countervailing force from workers in the bottom to make sure we keep what we have and get what we deserve. And yeah, it's as simple as that. That's why we need unions, and that's why we need the labor movement. And I think you should really watch this movie because they have a little country bumpkin hero talk eloquently about this exact point.
Once a concession is won and once a strike is won, that the workers have to move right on to the next struggle. And if they don't, the concession that it was won, you're going to lose it. So there's 2 types of ways to win strikes and concessions. And the first type is where the workers fight and struggle and force the concessions out of the mine owners or factory owners or who have you. And these strikes are strikes that are won from below. The other type of strike is strikes that are given to you from above. Wherever anybody gives you something, they don't give you nothing for nothing. They get something and be given it, you're going to have to give up something.
I've tried to post this video on racial equality in Harlan County, USA like 6 times, but it keeps getting marked as ineligible, so I'm just going to try and post it in chunks, so apologies if this is a little jumpy. It doesn't really matter what color you are when you're getting exploited, and Barbara Koppel, the director, highlights this in a genius way in this movie. And she shows that all the workers know this, as in this scene in a hospital when a co-worker talks about people going in all colors but coming out black, as in covered in coal dust that's giving them all black lung.
We'd be covered just black. We don't make every color when you went in it. You all be look the same when you came out. Right?
You got even with that. There's old brothers.
That's right, when you came out. The whites looked like the blacks, so it wasn't any different. So you know you was getting plenty dust.
The framing of that shot is genius, to make sure and show all 3 of them suffering from the same thing regardless of color. A move she repeats as she goes from a white dude having to use a big medical tank at home to a black dude having to use a big medical tank at home, all from black lung. And there's a lot of somewhat subtle stuff that she does in this movie that's just brilliant. Even from the very start, she frames the description of the strike starting out in this white guy whittling wood, and then pulling back to reveal that the strike crosses racial lines. Or look how she cuts as the picketers win an engagement. To me, that's a parallel with the earlier scene of starting on the white guy whittling and pulling back. This time it's a black dude singing, and then we pull back to reveal a cross-racial band, crowd, and movement. And even so, yeah, I think this should be mandatory viewing for everyone, especially in schools, especially in the South. And it gives me hope, because this isn't that long ago.
What you think about the role of miners' wives play?
Well, they certainly played a big role in it. I would hate to think that my wife would play this kind of role. There's been some conduct that I don't like to think that our American women have to revert to.
I'm sick of it. And it's time for us to stand together and get just as violent as they are. That's no, it's not. No, it's not neutral. And you know it's not neutral. It's not neutral. You know what it is. And I'll tell you, you know what I told you? I don't give a damn how much money you make in it that's being a sheriff, but don't go against the union. That's all I ask. That's the only thing I ask.
You shouldn't carry it with you like that.
Oh, it's got safety. And if it did, it wouldn't shoot nothing but I might lose that one anyway. As long as we got enough. I want you to meet. They're violent, so by God, you fight far with far. Now, we're with you, and we'll stick with you. All these women, we got a whole gang of them. It says they'll go with them tomorrow. We need every man and woman. That those scabs wouldn't mean a thing if we get all of them up. I started out with a switch on that picket line, but I'm ended up now carrying a gun. I mean, all the time, too. Hell, you have to, you know, especially since what's happening up there at Highsnap, and knowing them and seeing the machine guns and all. It's time to, well, you'd be crazy not to carry a gun now.
All right, will you go up there when they shoot machine guns across the highway?
No, he won't.
No, will you go up there then?
No, he won't.
They know
No, he won't do it.
Why don't you
No,
go
he
up there
won't.
then? You weren't up there yesterday.
No, he won't. When they beat us and club us, and whenever they beat that 17-year-old boy, he won't. I mean, I see. You know what, Billy? Gee, that was told to me, and I wouldn't believe it before the election. I was told that you do it. It really was.
We're not home.
How much more do you want? Hell, you can have it all. By God, I mean, we'll get you up $100. Come on, Rick.
Now look.
Shall not be made like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
U.S.A. is playing at the Eagle Theater Sunday, March 30th at 4 p.m. in Los Angeles. I had no idea when I started posting the highlights on my channel this week, so that's really cool. I just saw it on the Twitter of the director, Barbara Koppel. The Eagle Theater is in Northeast LA, run by Vidiots, the nonprofit video store. I'll post the link in the description, and you can also go to vidiotsfoundation.org to buy a ticket. March 30th, 4 p.m. Yeah, definitely go see this if you haven't seen it. It looks so cool. I wish I could see this in theaters.